Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode number 70 of 3Cs in a Pod,
Yeah, fucking 3Cs.
starring
Fucking
Chris, CJ, and COVID.
fuck, man. This whole shit's been ridiculous.
COVID. Last week, CJ's parents had COVID, and now my parents have COVID this week. So,
Yeah, and so I think
and CJ has COVID.
up until last week's podcast, I had tested negative twice. I then did another rapid test the 29th, or wait, did it go to the 31st? December?
Yes, it did.
So,
Yep.
okay, so then I did a test, I think on the 30th, and that came back negative, just a rapid test. And I was just telling Chris that I just took a big sniff out of that Buffalo Trace beside me and couldn't taste it or smell it.
Smell it.
I can't taste it. It's dry January.
Yeah.
But like, it's just recent, like just today. Because like I was drinking rum on New Year's, tasted it. I had Dairy Queen last night, tasted that.
For me, it came on very fast.
Really?
It was like everything was fine, and it was like even like I'd eat something in the morning, and like by that night, everything was gone.
It was fucked.
But
Okay,
that's
so
not.
that's-
I don't think you'll necessarily lose both.
I think what I'm gonna start doing is starting a timer or like the stopwatch
Right.
every time we start the podcast, and then I can hit like the lap, so I know when I have to
Good
like
call.
cut something or
Good
like
call.
we take a break.
Anyway, I think we're back right now. Anyway,
Yeah.
so I don't know if people lose both or if they can lose one or the other. I don't know if one necessarily goes hand in hand. Like you might just lose your smell and be able to taste. Which
Yeah.
I mean, if you got to
everybody I
sacrifice
know,
one, that's the one to sacrifice.
everybody I know, it's both. They're
That's
losing
what I've
both.
heard too. Yeah, and that was my experience as well.
Because I think both are related.
Mm-hmm.
I'm no gynecologist, but
you sound like a pretty good, solid gynecologist. So CJ's got COVID. Next week we should be back live.
yeah,
Well, yeah, for sure, definitely.
yeah. Because this is
you're
like,
not getting any worse. So
no, this is day 5 or 6 of my or 6 or 7 from when I developed like a cough.
right, and nothing's getting worse. It's been getting better. So
yeah, every day's been a little better.
Yeah,
except now I have
no smell.
No smell.
Congratulations.
Fuck.
Oh man, everyone.
Yeah, so
I found
I'll
out
be doing
like
a rapid test.
Yeah, good call. I found out my parents got COVID today. Everyone that they celebrate New Year's with has COVID. They went and saw my aunt and uncle who probably have COVID now. And
dude,
and 2 other friends of ours last night we found out had COVID. Everyone's getting COVID. I said at the end of 2021, go out and get COVID, and everyone was listening. So thanks for listening, everyone. Big ups.
All three of you.
Keep doing it. Keep it going.
Spreading it good. Three listeners, and they're spreading it. No, it's crazy, but it's this Omicron or whatever the fuck they're calling it.
Decepticon.
They're saying it's like more contagious than regular COVID, but the symptoms are a little more chill.
Yeah, to me it's good news. Like honestly, because
if it's gonna evolve and not be worse,
yeah, like we're good.
We're hopefully heading in a better direction.
South Africa got rid of everything 3 weeks ago, and they were the ones that discovered the Transformer variant. It sounds like a fucking Transformer.
Oh, shit.
They were the ones that discovered it and told the world about it. And what their experience was with it is that it burned through their population extremely fast. Their hospitalizations and deaths were were minimal, to say the least, compared to when other fucking variants of COVID went through. And so they said, because this thing's so transmissible and the symptoms are more or less like the cold or flu, which we've learned to live with our rest of our lives, like they're done. They're like, we can't, this is pointless. It's literally pointless.
Yeah.
Today's the 3rd of January, just for context here. Ontario went back into lockdown where we live. And this is the first time I've heard a government in Canada say not stop the spread or slow the spread. Like before, it used to be like stop the spread, stay home, stop the spread. Now they're even admitting like we're not stopping this. This shit's just
Oh,
fucking.
there's
There's
no
no
chance,
stopping it.
no shot.
Which we knew from 2 years ago we weren't stopping this, but here we are still, right? But
Yeah,
yeah,
that should have just been their whole motto from the get go is just
yeah,
slow the spread, not stop it. You're not
stop
gonna
the spread.
stop it.
No.
I remember when they're like, we're shutting down for 2 weeks, everybody's going into lockdown. I'm like, okay, but that's off the assumption that everybody has picked it up at the start of that
Yeah.
lockdown and now we're good. There's gonna be people that pick it up halfway through that lockdown. And then when they come out, they're like, we're good. And they're
Yeah. We
fucking cruising
chilling.
around
Yeah.
asymptomatic and have no idea they fucking have it. Like if it wasn't for my dad testing positive, my mom would have never have went. And like she probably got it from my dad, but like same
Yeah.
thing. Like if she picked it up somewhere else and was asymptomatic, she would have been fucking everywhere and anywhere.
Now, the only thing that said is that asymptomatic people do not tend to spread the virus. And by
So
10,
I
I mean
hear
like that's almost guaranteed.
is it?
I've
'Cause
heard
I heard
so many doctors say that, and that was like from 18 months ago that asymptomatic
really,
spreads out the window.
I didn't know that.
If you don't show any symptoms, you do not spread the virus. People definitely look this up. I'm sure I'm misinformation, but I've seen this so many fucking times, and so many different studies come out on this. But the
Mhm.
thing is that like at the start, which warranted the lockdowns, was that they were concerned that people that were asymptomatic could
We're
spread the
still
virus,
spreading it and shit.
right? So then that warranted like the 2-week quarantines and the fucking all this shit, right? That in their mind, they knew by June of fucking 2020 that wasn't the case. But the thing is that they stopped kind of going about the asymptomatic thing. It's just when that shit gets said by the government or by the media, they never go back and correct themselves. They just say it and then they just keep moving on, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's how that fucking misconception gets thrown out there. What did you hear about it?
Oh, buddy, I
Yeah.
fucking don't do any research on it.
No, fair enough. Fair enough. I'm just saying, like, that's the one
I
that for
just know
me,
like from like public health from my mom is since she's asymptomatic, it was only like a 5-day quarantine isolation shit.
yeah.
And then after that you're good.
As long as your symptoms don't worsen or anything like that, you're out the window. So yeah, it's fucking insane, bro. Fucking literally crazy. But to me, like I like the fact that like South Africa is like I thought right away like the writing's on the wall for COVID. Everyone's getting it. Unvaccinated, vaccinated. It does not matter. Literally
Yeah.
does not matter at all. So like I was thinking like all these narratives are going to go out the window and we're finally getting to the end of it until today when the government relocked us down as if like we
Yeah, I saw
haven't
a
tried
bunch
this
of
literally 3 more times before, right?
I
So,
saw a bunch of like video things with I don't know who the fuck was it, Doug Ford or somebody
mhm.
about COVID restrictions getting more strict or whatever, and I was like, oh, fucking skip this shit.
Yeah, they closed restaurants, bars, gyms. It's literally back to lockdown,
Square one.
back to square one.
Fuck.
So, to me,
Thank God I still have a job. I just can't go.
yeah. Well, and I think you'll probably find that you might. Well, I don't know what your job entails, but if you don't have to be in the office, I think
Oh
they
no,
will
I have to be in the office. Yeah,
at least
I'm
get
like
to get out
one
of
of
the
the
house.
only people that have to be there.
Beautiful. Everyone else is not going to be in there. So, that's where we're at, bro. It's fucking super bizarre. But
It's
anyway,
on a happier note, how was your
Yeah.
New Year's? Seemed a lot of fun.
yeah. CJ Skyped in.
Yeah, I Skyped in to be a part of the gang for the 12 o'clock celebrations. You guys were 5 minutes behind though.
Probably.
Yep.
Sounds about right.
Audrey's on the phone and I'm like, you guys are late, and I'm literally showing her the time. And she's like, it's probably because of Chris's
Yeah, my
illegal
cable box.
streaming box.
How dare you say that out on the internet? Because of my legal cable box, it tends to run a slight delay because it's not of this nation.
I can't wait. I'm gonna get one of those fucking things. Fuck.
They're fantastic.
I know
But yeah,
everybody
it
I
does
know
tend
has
to run.
one.
See, I notice it on live events or runs. I'm going to say anywhere from like a 10 to 20-second delay, which isn't bad. It's pretty good.
No, but that's because
Um,
it's got to go to somebody else, and then they got to send it to you. So you're
It's got to get pinged
it's
around
got
the
to bounce
universe.
around. It's got to it's got to bounce around a little bit.
By the time it lands up to where I am, fuck. Next thing you know, it's fucking 2022. But yeah, I remember you saying like, guys, that's it. It's time.
Guys, you're late.
Did you get a
They're
chance?
starting your countdown at 12:30.
I don't know what channel you were watching the countdown on, or if you were just like watching the clock and then it clicked over.
I put one on because Rob yelled at me.
Okay, fair
Goes,
enough.
what are you watching? I'm like, you guys. Like,
We were far more entertaining than the New Year's Eve shows. I can tell you that. Those things are like
yeah.
full on Black Mirror episodes now. Like the one
Oh.
that we put on, and we only put it on for like the 5 minutes before the ball, because otherwise, I think we all will have committed suicide before midnight. Because those things are so fucking unwatchable. It's insane.
We used to put them on all the time when I was younger.
Yeah,
like
same.
when Dick Clark was actually around, and they were like entertaining.
Yeah,
I
they
guess
were fine.
Not
I just mean like
anymore,
the last
man.
like 5, like whatever, the way that media's gone the last 10 years.
No, it's terrible.
It's just been a steady decline.
Steady. That thing's on a fucking free
Oh
fall,
yeah,
dude.
it fell. It's
fucked.
a straight line up and down, I should say.
It's
but-
so dumb. Like
Yeah.
I can't stand the media, the news. Like
So this one was brought to you by Planet Fitness, and everyone in the fucking audience was wearing a 2022, like one of those hats, but it said Planet Fitness on it. All of Times Square was purple and yellow in Planet Fitness. Dude, it's like a fucking literally Black Mirror episode. It's like the whole thing was Planet Fitness, Planet Fitness, Planet Fitness. And then there was this fucking couple. I encourage anyone to go back and watch the video if they didn't see it live. But like shortly after midnight, this dude like proposed to this woman.
Kissed her with the mask on.
Oh yeah, but the whole thing, like just looking at it and not being able to hear it, the whole thing looked like a setup. You know what I mean? Like they're like, okay, let's bring out the guy that fucking proposed to his girlfriend, whatever, because they made out with their masks on. She looked like she had just come in from outside, because literally everyone around them is in coats. They're bundled up. They've been outside in fucking New York City for hours at this point. It's fucking below zero. It's cold outside.
Yeah.
These two stroll in. The guy's got like a light jacket on, like a fucking like blazer.
Yeah.
And she just looks like she just fucking strolled in off of fucking the runway. And they're
doing it right there.
They've been out here for hours. They happen to be right behind the camera. And then they kiss with fucking masks on. Like, oh my God.
I saw that picture and I'm like, this is...
It seemed like a setup.
2022's in for some fucking...
Oh my God.
We're off to a good start, I guess.
We've peaked already.
Holy fuck. I'm off to a good start, let me tell you.
Yeah. Holy fuck.
Jesus. Yeah,
how were you? How much were you drinking that night? We didn't
I only had like
just a couple.
Yeah, like 2 or 3 glasses.
Yeah.
Stayed up till like fucking 3:30 playing games after.
Nice.
I got off the phone with you and hopped in some games. A buddy I play with online, he's got COVID right now.
Excellent.
So he's not doing anything. So we were just playing games. Audrey's brother hopped on for a bit. Yeah,
he just got over COVID too, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone.
Everybody's getting it. It's fucked.
Yeah.
I don't know how his parents didn't get it.
Yeah, that's the surprising thing. But maybe
that's what everybody said to me. They're like, I can't believe you tested negative 3 fucking times. I'm like,
fucking knew you were.
You and me both.
I knew it.
So we'll do another. I don't know if I'm going to do another rapid test or if.
Well, honestly,
I'll just schedule a PCR. But here's my thing. It's like
you're going to be negative at this point anyway, CJ. I think.
See,
the virus
I've heard different. I've heard different. I've heard that you can test positive like a month or more later because it sticks around, and you'll still test positive. I told
even though you're
Audrey's,
totally fine.
Yeah, so you can come out of it. You do your fucking whatever it is, 10 days for whatever. You could have fucking bad symptoms, and then you come out of it. But you'll still test positive for like another month or more.
Because what I've been hearing is that the virus sort of works its way through your system in a week or so, like tops.
Hmm.
I have heard, I haven't looked into this, that there is people that it can kind of linger in their system and then they'll like
Yeah.
randomly test positive, even though
I think
like
there, yeah,
on a
there could be
PCR
like
cycle, it's like the last cycle, it's
remnants
like
or whatever.
traces, whatever the fuck. It's not like an
Yeah.
active virus, right?
Yeah.
But
It's whatever. So I like when my dad got it, he's like, yeah. And then I'll schedule another test. I'm like, what? Don't.
yeah,
It's
don't
not
even
worth it.
bother. If
It's not worth it. So that's like where I'm at. It's like, do I do one or do I just like accept it?
I
I'm
would say you
like,
just chalk
just
yourself
go to
down that you had
wherever.
COVID and move on.
Yeah, that's kind of
Away
where
you
I'm
go.
at, right? Like,
Yeah.
I can't believe I lost my fucking smell, dude. Oh fuck, man.
I hope it
Yeah,
doesn't last very
wild.
long.
Me
But
and you
yeah,
both.
if you have a much better sniffer than me, if you just fucking hauled on that bottle of whiskey just to get a sniff of it and you got nothing.
Thank God we're not doing like any serious reviews.
Oh no shit. Oh my god, that's gonna be interesting. I guess we'll see next week how it's going.
Well, think about when you lost yours and we went back to doing reviews. You said right
Uh
from the get go. I think every week you're like, yes. I don't know if my smell's back to normal yet.
yeah, I still don't. Like I just think I had a
It's
shitty smell to begin with.
it's gonna be like, oh,
My
that's
smell
one
definitely
thing.
works. Like I can guarantee
You
that
smell
I
now,
I
yeah,
know my smell works. My
yeah,
point is like I think my smell just came back to like 70% of what it was,
yeah.
50% of what it was.
Or maybe you just were
Or
always at
and
70%, and now
that's
you know.
what I'm more inclined to think because I've busted my nose literally like 2 or 3 times at least. Documented cases of broken nose. So I can't imagine that helps your fucking smell. You
Yeah.
know? So
Oh no, that definitely can't.
fuck no. Welcome to Dry January, everybody.
Yep.
On the podcast.
Cheers.
Cheers. Get a big gulp of that water. What are you sipping on? Straight H2O?
Straight fucking H2O.
Mm-hmm.
It tastes like shit. I can't even taste it.
It's got no flavor, this. 3 days in, just for context here. How you holding up? Been okay?
Fine. It's a little tempting. I got the bottle of Buffalo Trace
I
and
see them both sitting there and it's making me get the fucking shakes.
Sailor Jerry's sitting there, and it's like, oh, that'd be kind of fucking nice right about now. But
Yeah. I do think that sobriety is overrated at times.
at times, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, at times. Drinking a lot is definitely overrated as well. So that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
Because December gets the fucking better of me every fucking year.
Well, I was saying
Every year.
last week that the after that Christmas special, I had one of the worst hangovers I've ever had.
We drank a lot of
and it
booze.
was just the headache. Like, I slammed down liquids. I fucking like shit. I was
Couldn't
just trying to
shake it.
I was just trying to, like after a hangover, sometimes you just need like either something like sweet or greasy.
Yeah.
And usually that'll fucking get you over the hump.
Mhm.
Nope. I'm like, this is fucking brutal. But yeah. And
I've
my
been
mom goes, hangovers aren't gonna get any easier as you get older. I'm like, yeah, fuck. Thanks, Captain Obvious.
yeah, no shit. Really? I've been feeling like I had a hangover for the last like 3 days now. Like every time I wake up,
Hey, you
I'm
got
like,
COVID.
"Ugh." No, I don't. I've taken a few rapid tests over the last week or so.
Dude,
I don't have COVID, but
I'm so fucking tired of shoving shit up my nose. Or somebody
Yeah.
else shoving shit up my nose.
from here on out, we can make this pledge in 2 seasons pod. The only thing we're putting up our nose is cocaine and heroin, and we can make that pledge for the children. That's for all the children out there.
It's for experimental reasons.
Yeah, fuck that, man. It's not a nice feeling, and it's
No,
like
have
the
you had
rapid tests
to-
are easy. You don't even have to fucking jam them all the way up there.
So I've heard twice now, people doing like PCR tests, and they haven't touched their brains.
Really?
Yeah,
Now I'm
like
confused.
the test me and my mom went and did. Like,
Touched your brain?
no,
Really?
It's like a glorified fucking rapid test.
No shit.
Yeah, I felt kind of ripped off. Like, is this legit? Like,
What's happening here?
yeah.
And then it turns out
I
it
feel like I'm
fucking
getting
was legit.
scammed.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
that's
The
weird.
rapid tests are far more pleasant than the PCR, but even still, enough. We've also reached a point in Ontario where they've basically said no more tests for anyone. Have you read any of the criteria as far as PCR tests go?
No. Can I
They did
even go get
this.
one if I wanted to?
No, you could not. Not for free.
Weird.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Um. Yeah,
So now,
because so just
now you want
before.
me to go pay to get a PCR test?
No, they basically don't want you to get tested anymore. According, like we're at this
But
stage
so,
where it's
but
kind of
we're
like,
okay. This is like so fucking back ass words.
so we're at
Like,
the point
wouldn't
where they just want you to
just
uh
isolate yourself?
isolate if you got
Just
symptoms, assume you have it, because at least for the next couple months, because the leading up to the Christmas time and to where we are now, just into early January, the like people couldn't even book tests, right?
oh,
Because
it's
it
fucked.
was insane. Like there was like the testing capacity in Ontario like reached its limit. There was like sixty
Sorry.
thousand, no worries. It's like 60,000 cases tests per day being issued. But the major problem with that is that even though we had like a 30% positivity rate, that's still 70% of the people that are waiting in line taking up testing space who don't have COVID and probably won't get COVID, at least at that very moment in time, right? So what they want to get away from is the asymptomatic testing on the healthcare system, because the transformer variant is going to basically everyone's going to get it at some point.
Yeah,
Um, and so basically, the point of the matter is that it's not anywhere near as deadly as the other shit. You're probably going to be fine. If you got symptoms, assume you got it. And I'm sure they're going to at least allow for more access to rapid tests. So basically,
because
like,
that's been a huge thing.
well, that was also one of the reasons last week I was saying I was feeling optimistic because they're getting rid of the testing, right? So now, hopefully, the idea of 20,000 cases a day, 20 cases a day, 100 cases a day doesn't matter anymore because it was flawed to begin with, anyways. When the
Yeah,
real metric that matters is hospitalizations, deaths, and ICU numbers. So the government has said that they're going to just rely on those numbers because it's a far more true assessment of how the province is handling COVID, which I thought was actually a good thing, right? So that's sort of their thing, is like to be testing people all the time who have like minimal symptoms or are
I th-
asymptomatic is more or less
yeah.
a waste of time and
So
and a literal burden on the system.
so I think this is where kind of everybody, not necessarily like I don't really know the wording for this, not got confused, but was like overly cautious because they would get a phone call, email, text, whatever it was. Hey, tested positive. I saw you fucking yesterday. Just a heads up. But then they would go to book a PCR test to be like, I want to know, do I have it or not? When realistically, just fucking stay in your house for a couple of days. If you
Yeah.
get symptoms, yeah, okay, then go book.
hmm
If you don't,
And that was the problem with how the I'm going to say government and media because they kind of go hand in hand here. How the original guidelines of COVID have been up until basically 3 weeks ago was
Mhm.
that if because of this fucking nonsense about asymptomatic spread, anyone you've seen in 2 weeks should basically get tested as soon as
Yeah,
you fucking. But which is nonsense. And again, I'm not quoting any nonsense things here. The Ontario top doctor Kieran Moore said, "You're only positive, you're only contagious, really, for 2 days before you show symptoms, and then 3 days after you have symptoms." So that's why I was saying most people will probably be negative or at least not contagious
yeah.
just a few days after their positive test or the onset of symptoms. So that said, like a lot of people are like, "Hey, I saw you last week and I just tested positive today," even though there's no chance that they got COVID from you. And then, like you
Yeah.
said, they're booking up tests. Everyone wants peace of mind to a certain extent, but also everyone's
Well,
freaked out
like
too,
that's
right?
what
So
that was me and my mom. Like my dad
yeah.
tested positive. Um, he went up to the cottage and isolated himself up there from us because at the time we didn't have symptoms and we both did a rapid test, tested negative. Now, at the same time, sometimes it takes that couple of days before you'll either test positive and or have symptoms. So we could have little prematurely did a rapid test, but it's like whatever.
Right.
Like it's just a rapid test. We're not taking up anybody's
No, it's no
fucking
big deal.
space.
Yeah.
And then my mom's like, I want to be 100% sure that we're either positive or negative. So we went and did like the 2 hour turnaround time PCR test. And then it was I was negative, she was positive, and look at me. Now I have no smell.
Yeah, now you got no smell, and congratulations on not getting COVID. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Oh my
My
god.
my wife was telling me a story that I thought was interesting, and it's just kind of going to be how things play out from now on. Um, is there was this girl who had to be tested. It was just like this article that she just kind of put like just as like information. She had to be tested every day for whatever her job was, wherever the fuck she lived. And
Sure.
she had access to rapid tests, but she did PCR testing as well. And so when she got COVID, the PCR, let's say the PCR picked it up on a Monday, the rapid test picked it up on the Wednesday. So there is like this overlap between when the rapid test
Gotcha.
will actually show that you're
Actually showed
positive
it.
versus the PCR test will kind of catch it earlier, but that does not mean that they're fucking symptomatic at that point either, right? It's like the
Yeah.
very so either way, just interesting. I just thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
So
So I
when
wonder if that was my case, like,
that's what I was gonna say is
because I think we
I think you
went
guys definitely jumped the gun on them for sure.
on the
Knowing that now.
the first rapid test. Yeah, for sure. It's
Yeah.
just weird that like because my third test, which would have been my second rapid test that I did, would have been I believe it was the 30th, and I had symptoms. I had a cough. That was like the second day with the cough and a little stuffy. I really didn't get stuffed up till my cough was like gone. And now today it's like a little bit of a runny nose. Every once in a while, I gotta fucking blow my nose, but
Right.
other than that, I wouldn't say it's anything extravagant.
So my mom
And that third test, like that second rapid test, which would have been the third one, came back negative. So it's like, what the
okay, yeah.
fuck? Like to me, it's like super weird.
Yeah, there's definitely fucking something strange. I like the one thing that I had heard today and didn't look into it, so this is just fucking not just
Sure.
take this for whatever you will.
Yeah.
Um was that
Take it with a grain of salt or whatever they
definitely
say.
take it with a grain of fucking salt. A friend of ours was over today and she said that a lot of people are testing negative on the rapid test because that's a nose one. And then when they go and swab their throats or their mouth, they're testing positive.
Weird.
Because most of the people that I've been hearing, and I don't know any of this, I don't know any of the science behind this.
Yeah.
A lot of people that I've been hearing, it's been sore throats and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing, I'm sure this is unscientific and gonna sound really dumb to some people. I'm guessing it doesn't make its way into the nose, if that's true, and then just kind of hangs out in your throat. I don't know
Kind of
if
makes
any of
sense,
that's
I
fucking
guess.
true. I guess maybe. I don't know. Right?
Again, no
Because the PCR
gynecologist here.
test, although it feels like it goes in your brain, it actually just goes to the back of your throat,
It
right?
just hits the back of your throat
So
from
it makes sense that like
the
when
old
they're
one
doing
did,
that,
at least.
they're getting nasal and they're getting the back of your throat. So
Yeah.
it's not like outside the realm of possibility based on
Yeah.
how the testing's been done before. So that said, um,
Well, you see
when
the
my,
tests. Some of the guys I follow down in the States, when they go to get tested, and this was even like early COVID, they're like, what was it? Around your mouth. And I think it was like two separate ones. So you do one around your mouth, and then you do another like Q-tip, not the same one, and then you do up the nose, and then you like put them into like the little tube or
right,
baggie, and then they take them, and so they've always been doing it around the mouth. Where I haven't really,
because the states has far more access to more testing than we have available here.
right,
So, for example, like the antibody test that we have in Canada is not a good one by any sort of standard. The one in the United States actually distinguishes between long-term antibodies from natural exposure or natural immunity or whatever the fuck. So
sure,
people that had it and vaccine. Whereas here, there's something with the test, and I've seen this is not crackpot shit. This is real stuff. I just can't articulate it very well. There's something with the test here where even if you have COVID and your antibodies show up on the Canadian test that they're gone after 4 months, you actually still have the antibodies. It's just our testing capability isn't good,
Doesn't show it.
more or less. It's just we have a shitty test and it doesn't work very well. There's a company in BC that is trying to like do the world's most comprehensive antibody test as far as like had you been previously exposed, how like
Cool.
great. It's like it measures 12 different things. Interesting
Yeah,
as fuck.
cool.
But at
Yeah.
least in the States, like for anyone who's had COVID or will have COVID, to like to use that's Canadian at least, to go back and check like 5, 6 months later, you're gonna come back without antibodies when that's not the case by
Yeah.
everything that I've heard from legitimate doctors and all this shit on this very subject. Just we just don't have access to the amount of varying testing that they do in the States based
Yeah.
on their setup. But
No,
yeah.
that kind of makes sense, but you'd also think that even though it starts, I don't know. I'm no
No.
fucking
No,
scientist,
it's fine.
doctor, or
But that's the
whatever.
whole point of this. We don't fucking know. We're just talking.
Ah,
We're having
fuck.
fun. Who cares?
Yo,
Um,
speaking of science, science is fucking cool as shit, and so is space. You like that segue?
That's a hell of a fucking segue. Bravo, sir.
Dude, we've been watching Lost in Space. I shouldn't say we've been watching. We finished watching Lost in Space. Do you ever remember a show back in the day? It was like Will Robinson and he's got this robot.
I know the show. I know
Dude.
I know the show Lost in Space. It's an older TV series, right?
Yeah, it used to be, and then Netflix revamped it, I guess.
Yeah, they
And
brought
it
it back.
is really good. I thoroughly enjoy it. And it makes me fucking want to go to space. Because it's fucking ridiculous.
That's the robot
like,
that
the
goes
shit that's
Danger
out
Will
there.
Robinson, Danger Will Robinson, right?
Yeah.
So what
Yeah.
my experience previous to Netflix bringing this shit back was that show was like a series in the 70s or 80s originally.
Right.
I don't remember when. I never watched it. And then
Yeah.
they did a movie. We'll Google this right now. I'm gonna say in like 2000, and with
Really?
fucking Joey from fucking Friends was in it.
No way.
And it was like, whoa, a fucking dude from Friends is in a movie. And they did a movie and it was like an hour and a half. It was like whatever. But I'm gonna say 2000 because I remember so young, I don't even remember anything from it.
Yeah.
And that was like their sort of like reboot of it. And then nothing about Lost in Space until a couple years ago when Netflix like brought it back.
Yeah.
But I've heard it's good. Like you're not the only
I
person.
thoroughly enjoy it. Yeah.
1998, that movie was in. That movie came out.
Jesus.
Yeah. I remember that
Fuck,
distinctly.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like, just finished season 3, so I won't do any spoilers. But some of the like, I guess it's just like the exploration side of things and like finding like crazy ass fucking planets and shit like that.
It's definitely the thing about exploration movies in space is that although shit tends to go awry, it still seems relatively safe, you know?
Yeah, but I guarantee you it is not.
Fuck no, it's not. That was my point is like, you're like, I want to go to space. And my first thought was,
Fuck
I
no.
absolutely do not want to go to space at all. It seems so scary, man. There's so much fucking like
Oh,
a fucking-
100%.
A piece of
Dude,
dust
I'd
the size
shit
of
my
a penny hits you,
pants.
your fucking spaceship explodes. Like
Yeah.
you're like sleeping with that in the back of your thought.
Yeah, no thanks.
You ever been on an airplane? You're like, if this thing decompresses
Oh
right
my
now,
God,
we're all
dude.
dead.
No,
And
it's not
hard to
even
shake that thought when you're on a plane.
You see the wings start doing this,
Yes,
and you're like,
yeah.
ah, fuck, here we go. I'm
This wing's
fucking
gonna break
gone.
off. This is it. And you're just thinking about how terrifying it'll be for the next 3 minutes while you plummet towards Earth.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
however long it's gonna be, but yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah. So imagine being in space.
No, but like it would be cool as fuck.
Yeah, like if you knew it was gonna go fine, fucking, I'm in for sure.
Yeah.
I just want to
Yeah.
go bounce around on the moon. That just seems like fun.
You can do that. It's down in fucking Hollywood. I think they
It's
still have
Studio
the set
6.
set up.
They probably do. I mean, they've made a bunch of movies about space. Like, why you might as
Yeah.
well keep it set up, right?
Yeah, you may as well.
That was
They're
the
gonna
big-
want proof, so you may as well keep it set up so you can release more
Fair enough.
footage, revamped HD footage.
There's a lot of space agencies that are like recently fucking around with the moon right now. like doing
Really?
some weird fucking shit. Yeah. China or India is doing something on the dark side of the moon, and they're like, time to put on our fucking tinfoil hats. They think they might have found something. They're trying. One of them is definitely trying to grow mushrooms on the moon
Shit.
because there's like
Cool.
this theory that mushrooms have this ability to. I think some mushroom spores can survive in the vacuum of space. So there's
Okay.
this thought that maybe like mushrooms arrived, like are alien to Earth in a sense, even though they've been like here for billions
Could
of
make
years.
sense. Yeah,
They
but
could have
could
like
make sense
came in
if a
on like an
meteor.
asteroid, right?
Yeah.
A meteor, comet, whatever the fuck, right? So
Fuck, I gotta make a tinfoil hat for this podcast
we
now.
fucking probably
At least
should.
for this month, because I feel like this is all we're gonna be talking about.
I'm gonna be fucking conspiracizing everything. Everything's a conspiracize.
Yeah.
I want to see what's going on the dark side of the moon.
Okay. I want to
Yeah.
ask you this though.
Yes,
Do you know
sir.
much about the metaverse?
Oh my god, no.
No. Have you heard
I
any
know
stories?
what I know what the metaverse is in the sense that Facebook is now called Meta, and they're
Yeah.
basically trying to do Ready Player One to a certain extent, aren't they?
Pretty much. It's
Yeah.
like so there's multiple metaverses and there will be like a bajillion metaverses. There will be some that are like only fucking billionaires like go to, and then there'll be ones that like us fucking average Joes go to or can't afford. There was a dude who bought who is now Snoop Dogg's metaverse neighbor and spent like $450,000 to be his neighbor in the
People are
metaverse.
literally buying real estate in the metaverse. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's that.
What's happening?
I don't know, and it's blowing my mind because
I'm not into that.
dude, neither am I. It's like literally we're putting ourselves into a video game when we're not in a video game. Well, we could be. Maybe this is how we discover that we're in a fucking video game because it's like,
Yeah.
oh shit, we just did this, but technically we're already here.
Well, this is
We're in
the
Inception now.
idea.
Fuck.
But, I guess at that point, like really, if you're awake, you plug yourself into the metaverse, you fucking
Boom.
chill out there all day. Eventually, it's going to get so good where it's going to be hard to distinguish between reality and being inside
Yeah.
the metaverse. So that would be some form of inception for sure.
The cryo chambers are next, where you just fucking plug yourself into the metaverse and then you wake up 50 years later.
Oh my god, that's a thought I hadn't even thought of.
And you've just been chilling in the metaverse for the last
Literally.
50 years.
It's literally chilling. Oh my god.
And you wake up and you haven't even aged a bit.
Why would you want to come out of the metaverse at that point? You know? Or does
Maybe
like
that's
50
the
years
average
in the metaverse go
lifespan
by
in the
like that?
metaverse. Maybe that's the average lifespan in like Ready Player One.
How long until the metaverse just basically becomes Grand Theft Auto? You know what I mean? That's like
Ooh.
a thought that I've
Wow.
had.
Yeah, because there's no policing in there yet.
There's no police unless you want Mark Zuckerberg to be the police.
Yeah,
Which
right.
I guess some people do.
That'll be the greatest mafia of all time.
Fucking right. Well, like because I think the whole like appealing thing behind like getting plugged into like some sort of AI metaverse type situation is to like the possibilities are limitless, right? That's the whole like selling
Sure.
feature, I think, for most people, or like the general conception, right? Like you can do whatever the fuck you want to do, which is basically Grand Theft Auto. Like Grand Theft Auto, I want to drive this car right now and shoot that guy in the head. You
I
can
want
do that.
5 stars
I wanna go-
fucking
I want to go
cops
rob.
after
I want to
me.
go rob this bank. I want to go fucking date this girl. You know, like you can do that in
Go
Grand
to the
Theft
strip
Auto.
club.
Exactly. Right. How long until the metaverse becomes that, or does it just become that like immediately because human beings are so fucked up? Like the dude that bought the house next door to Snoop Dogg, is he going to go over to Snoop Dogg's house and kill
he's
Snoop
broke
Dogg
now.
in the metaverse and be like,
No,
"This
he's
is mine"?
broke. He can't afford a gun. He's broke.
What's the resale value on that house?
Actually, probably fucking ridiculous because you're Snoop Dogg's neighbor.
Unfucking
It's probably fucking
happening.
ridiculous. Like it's like NFTs, man. That shit's nuts. I know absolutely nothing about NFTs. I would love to get Mackenzie back on the podcast because I would love to learn more about them and how to get involved.
See, like
that is a different realm. Do you know who we brought this? I think Mackenzie brought him up when she was on the podcast. It was ages ago to like think back on it. But his name's Beeple, Beeple.
I think he was just on the Rogan Experience. I did not watch it. I don't know who this guy is.
He gifted Rogan an NFT, and he like
Okay.
gave him one of it. So this guy made digital art every day for a year.
Okay,
And
so
then
this is this guy? That's the guy that she was
yeah,
talking about? All right, got it.
and
Now I know
then
who you're talking about.
sold individual items, and then sold like the entire collection as well. This guy made I don't even know the actual number. You can look it up. Millions,
Yeah, yeah.
millions of
Tremendous amount
dollars
of fucking money.
in like 2 hours. It was
Jesus Christ.
unbelievable. And he still does. He does like these daily digital art pieces, and then he fucking sells them.
I think
And
I've seen some of them. They're pretty cool.
yeah, some of them are fucking trippy and
Yeah.
whack. And
Interesting
then
as
others
fuck.
are like fucking holy shit, look at that thing.
Mhm.
I think they're all a little bit holy shit, but yeah, some are just fucking whack.
Some of the NFTs have become like so indistinguishable from satire and reality. Like some of them are like fucking little gifts and stuff, and it's like, why
Yep.
are we spending money on this stuff? I don't. That's the part of this stuff that I don't understand. Like, I understand the sense that this guy found a way to sell art without physically creating art. I get that as far as the NFT thing goes, right?
Yeah.
But when we're selling like thumbnails and like fucking video game clips and fucking
The
sports
clips I don't
highlights,
understand, and
that
that
like
shit I don't
this sort of
understand.
shit kind of is stretching into like, hey, want to get involved in a Ponzi scheme? Because this is how you get involved in a Ponzi scheme. Buy this fucking thing and then just fucking hold on to it and sell it to someone else for
Yeah.
more. And like, you know what I mean? It fucking, some of it seems very strange to a dumb person like me, very much on the outside, kind of barely looking in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not really paying attention to it.
Yeah.
I think South Park explained it the best.
The clips and like the highlights, that shit I don't understand. I also just don't understand it because you're selling digital art. So there's a digital file of set art piece. So you're technically supposed to be the only one that has that digital file.
Yeah.
But when
how
you
does that
go
work?
to sell it,
How
like
do you
if I have
how
an
do you get rid? There's like a
NFT,
computer fingerprint on everything, right? Like,
dude, if I get an NFT and then I sell it, how do you know for 100% that I now don't have that NFT anymore?
well,
or that
exactly. Like,
file?
is there some sort of infrastructure set up to guarantee that when I upload the
When I
NFT
sell it or
into this
whatever.
fucking system, it will automatically make sure that there's no trace of it left on my computer, and
Yeah,
then
but even then, I'll just
then
put
it
it on an
doesn't.
external hard drive.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's, I don't think that infrastructure exists. Is my point.
Yeah,
Like
no,
back to what you're saying.
unless the way they're doing it is so okay, you go to fucking NFTs.com. I don't even know if that's an actual
I
site.
think that's where you get
But-
NFTs.
But just to make the ease of the thing. So you go to NFT.com and you purchase set NFT. The only way I could see that file being 100% there is when you upload it, it's there. You can't take it off of there.
Right.
And if there's some crazy, but then it's like, what's the point of having the NFT? Like, what if I wanted to put it on a digital picture frame?
Yeah, and that's the thing that's like confusing to me is
Like, it's
the whole
so
purpose.
many loopholes.
The
I
reason
feel
that
like,
people buy expensive art is to show people that they have expensive art. Now, that's not to say that
and to brag about
you,
it.
you buy a Beeple and you put it on, like, you just let it run on your TV. But like, what's to stop someone from walking by? Like, someone's not going to walk by your TV screen and just see like this image on it and be like, "Holy fuck, is that a Beeple?" They're going to be like, "Oh, cool screensaver." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But that's what I mean.
And
Like,
I'm not
these
trying to be
digital.
disrespectful. I'm just saying,
No,
like,
but
it's just like,
I think
what
it's
the fuck?
more. I think it's more than just like showcasing on a TV screen. Like, there's all these companies coming out with amazing digital art frame, like picture frames.
Right.
So you can like upload a file, upload a slideshow. You can do all this crazy shit with it, and then it hangs on your wall like a picture frame. And then you just have your artwork, either one piece of art on there or a slideshow. It could be like
Right.
family photos, whatever it is. But I think that's where it's, I don't know, it's so fucking like my smartness levels here and NFTs, like they're not even on the same spectrum.
Yeah, and
Like I
that's
feel like
and and the funny thing is that are NFTs even really that smart, or are they just banking on that no one knows what the fuck they are? So it seems smarter than it really is because people don't really know a lot about it. You know what I
well,
mean?
so yeah, so I know when NFTs started to take off, it was right when crypto took a bit of a dive. Like Bitcoin hit its all-time high and then the market fucking crashed.
Sure.
And then NFTs came and fucking exploded. People were buying NFTs left, right, and center. And then it was like the summer hit, and I think kind of people were like, "What the fuck is an NFT?" Like, I bought these, and like, now what? I bought them at $100 a piece, and now they're fucking $4 a piece. Like
I don't understand.
one, yeah, like
Yeah.
what the fuck? And then though they plummeted because I know the NBA and some other sport, I think, were gonna do NFTs or they're
Yeah.
doing NFTs where you can buy like highlights. And then at the same time, I'm like
Take
thinking
clips that
back, I'm
are
like,
already on YouTube. Like,
yeah, it's like I can just go get that clip. So what? I have the NFT now.
I own the
Can I
fucking
sell
digital.
that and be like, man, here's the NFT.
Well,
I'm
it's
the
why
owner.
see
Like it's so weird.
this was the part to me that I was trying that I was saying is like, is it really that much fucking like, is your knowledge level down here and NFTs are way up here? Or are they just capitalizing on the fact that they think that here's this new
There's
cool
so
thing?
many
Let's get some
idiots
fucking suckers to buy this shit. Like, let's get someone
make
to buy a
and make
clip of a
bank.
fucking sports highlight that's out there already that you
Yeah.
cannot remove from the internet. Because once something goes on the internet, it really never
No, it's
gets,
on there.
it's on there forever in some fashion
People
or other.
pull it off and then it gets uploaded to a bajillion other sites.
Yeah,
There's
like,
the
but then,
digital
like,
imprint. Like
so, like,
it's once it's there, it's
let's
there.
say you buy the highlight, like an NFT to Wayne Gretzky's record-setting goal, like where he beat Gordie Howe's all-time goals record,
Yeah.
right? So in every sports show, when they talk about like greatest hockey plays and stuff like that, or greatest hockey moments, are they not allowed to show like one of the most defining moments in that sports history because some dude on the
No, they
internet
can pay
bought a
me.
fucking NFT of it? Or do they just own the rights to it? So fucking TSN has to call them up, be like, "Hey, we'd like to show the fucking clip of Wayne Gretzky scoring his 800th goal or some shit." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, it's so
it's
weird.
so weird and strange.
I know
Strange
somebody
is more the
was
thing.
I know somebody was selling there was a piece of real estate. I think it was like a condo or something, and it got sold as an NFT because the person that lived there, the person before was an artist and they painted like one of the walls and apparently it was cool as shit. I don't know. They sold it as an NFT. My understanding
and that was
was
a
it,
physical thing.
yeah, like
Yeah, a wall. It's a
actual,
wall.
yeah, but
Yeah.
they're selling like the condo or whatever it was. Like they're selling the piece of real estate as an NFT. But here's my understanding of it. It's like, it's not an NFT in the sense of what an NFT actually is. You're just taking crypto as payment. So is it really like, are you just
Yeah.
saying it's an NFT
Are you
so
just
that you can be like,
accepting Bitcoin instead of
yeah,
American
but
dollars for this house?
are you calling it an NFT to be like, the first ever piece of real estate to sell as an NFT, like just to
Probably.
get that title? Or is there like some larger thing to it where it's like actually like, no, you're getting an NFT. Maybe there's other shit that goes along with it. I have no idea, but it was just, to me, it was like, what the fuck? To me, it just seemed like cool. You're like taking crypto as payment for
Yeah.
real estate. Sick. Cool. It's about time.
To me, that's far more interesting to use just crypto to buy regular things in the world.
Yeah.
As opposed to like then rebranding a house as an NFT in order to accept crypto. Like you're saying,
Yeah.
that's like just some kind of weird workaround. Forget the Central American country. I want to say Honduras or El Salvador. Only has it, and I think Bolivia did it too. Accepted Bitcoin as their national
El
currency.
Salvador.
Is it El Salvador?
I think so. There was a big thing.
I saw a dude
I don't know,
fucking
back in
buying a
like
beer down there. He just like tapped
back in
his
the
phone,
summer or whatever, and it
distributed
was
a
like
beer and Bitcoin.
they now recognize crypto as like a legitimate currency or some shit like that.
Yeah, and I think they're using it to, like, pull themselves out of poverty to a certain extent because when your dollar is literally worthless, which I can only assume that the El Salvador dollar was beforehand.
So here's my thing with the whole taking crypto as currency
Right.
to like actual pay for physical things. It's crypto is so vulnerable, and the price of it is changing every day, every minute. It's never it's never the same. What you buy today for one Bitcoin, tomorrow it could be $10,000 more. It could be $10,000 less. So, like, where it's not like the Canadian dollar or the US dollar where it has like a set value. It's a dollar. It's not going to go up. It's not going to go down. It is a dollar.
Well,
Whereas one Bitcoin right now is worth 50K. In March, it could be worth 80K.
or
So
30K.
now, or 30K. It could
Yeah.
be worth a fucking $1,000 come March. Who the
Yeah.
fuck knows? And like that's where it's like for me, it's I can't really wrap my brain around like,
See,
okay, so you're gonna
the
go buy a Tesla today. They're gonna accept Bitcoin. You go to pay for your Tesla. You leave the house thinking, I got my one Bitcoin. I've got enough to buy this car. We're good. You get there, market's gone down. Now you don't have enough.
yeah, the only thing I can think that they would do is, so let's say Tesla's worth 100,000 US dollars. That's what Tesla sells their things for. Um, if you want it to, but if you want it, you can also pay in Bitcoin. So you'll pay the equivalent of 100,000 US in
At that
Bitcoin
time.
at that time. At that time,
Okay.
that's how I think it will translate. Back to what you were saying
It's
about
such a shit
a
deal
dollar.
for
A
either
dollar is
side.
a dollar in the real world. It's true in like layman terms, but also the problem with dollars in the real world is inflation's also a fucking real
Yeah.
fucking thing. So although like although the Canadian dollar to us is a dollar, it's actually only worth fucking 75 cents to the American dollar,
Yeah.
which is stronger. But also then as inflation goes up 4 or 5%, even your Canadian dollar that used to be able to buy you 3 items can now only buy you 1 item. And that's if you're lucky, right? And that's if inflation's not going well. So I think the argument for crypto, not that I'm making an argument for it, but like how I've heard it explained, is that it's a good hedge against inflation because
Sure.
more or less, um, I don't think there's anybody predicting that the bottom is going to fall out of Bitcoin. Now, even if
No.
it fluctuates 10 to 50% on a day, more or less, if you look at the overall trend of it, it's going up and up and up. So
Yeah.
if you dump majority of your money, your paycheck into crypto, your dollar that you're getting, Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh, that's hilarious.
That was wild. Cat jumped up for those wondering who are listening. Jumped right onto the fucking computer.
Yeah, right in front of Chris's camera.
Um, for so if you throw most of your money into Bitcoin and the Canadian market, which right now is experiencing incredible amounts of inflation, and it's probably going to go up. Um, it's a hedge against you can get more out of your money without getting less out of your money. You know what I mean? Sounds
Yeah.
fucking
No, I
stupid,
totally get
right?
you.
But
I'm
like,
all for crypto.
yeah, I'm starting to see like the benefit of that in that sense as well. Whereas like, fuck, if I get a paycheck, say it's $1,000, right? That
Mhm.
$1,000 does not carry me the same way it did 6 months ago
No.
based on inflation. The price of
No.
groceries goes up, the fucking cost of gas go up, and I'm sick of hearing fucking politicians lie and say that it's based on supply chain shortages and all this shit because it's bullshit. Like inflation is caused by monetary spending. If you spend a fuckload of money, you have more money in circulation. It
Yep.
devalues the currency.
Yep.
We've known this forever. But now, because we're in fucking 2021 and we're living in a Black Mirror episode, you can just say anything you want, and people are like, "Yeah, if you think that inflation's real, you're a bigot." Like, you know what I mean?
Dude, I saw
People can
some
say that shit, and people be like, "Yeah, that you know what? I have heard that people that believe in inflation are fucking bigots." I've been hearing that lately. I think I don't. I believe that inflation doesn't exist. I think it's just
I, s-
supply chain shortages.
I saw the craziest um statistic, or like, I don't even know what you would call it, but one of the guys I follow, he used to be a skateboarder. Well, still is, but he's older now, and he's become like, he invested his money very smartly. I don't know if that's even a word.
Wisely.
Wisely, I guess.
Yeah.
But he like surrounded himself with people to like educate him and help him with this, and then he ended up educating like all these other skateboarders to follow suit, so that after, you can't do it, like, you can do it
No.
for years, but you're not going to be the top of the top. And for a long ass time skateboarding, you made like no money unless you were the top of the top. And so I follow him, and he has like a bunch of like financial advice and stuff. And I think it was him that posted, and it was like $1 million today in like 2026 will be the equivalent to $725,000.
Yeah.
It's like, holy fuck. Like, it literally lost a quarter of its worth.
Through nothing other than bad government decisions. That's literally how the
Yeah.
the value gets deflated, right? So, another good one that I saw was like the benefit to buying commodities, right? So $1,000 worth of gold or $100 worth of gold in 1900 is worth $2 million today, right?
Yeah.
$100 US dollars in 1900 is worth 10 cents, 4 cents today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas commodities and things that are actually intrinsic in value that can't be fucked with by markets or governments or anything like that, um, that's where you should be putting your money, really. Like, even like hedge against inflation is just buying silver and gold, just
Yeah.
buying coins. And like, when you have extra money, be like, why am I going to leave this in the bank for it to devalue in 3 years when
Yeah.
I could just put it into something that's going to at least hold its value to a certain extent or remain valuable for a while, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's a fucking bizarre fucking thing. I'm sorry, this fucking cat is driving me up the fucking wall.
He's like, the baby's gone down. Give me some motherfucking attention.
Yeah, well, I don't know why he's fucking harassing me. There's another person in this house not doing something.
But that's not as fun.
Yeah, I know. That's the fucking problem.
It's like when your fucking kid grows up, he's not going to go bug Antonia.
Yeah.
He's going to bug you when you're doing something.
Fair
Or
point.
the opposite. If you're not doing anything, he's going to go bug Antonia.
Yeah. You're right. I found what was going on with China. It's China on the dark side of the moon, by the way.
Okay.
And they have found
Makes sense.
something extremely interesting. They found like a rectangular object. They have a rover on the dark side of the moon.
Cool.
And
those rovers are a lot bigger than I thought they were.
Yeah, they're like cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty fucking crazy.
I honestly thought they were like
them, right?
like a just a large RC car. Like, I don't know, maybe the size of my desk, not like an actual size of a fucking car.
This article I'm reading, yeah, that's what I pictured too. You know what I mean? Like, because
Yeah.
rover is like very much like you first saw it's an RC car.
Yeah.
And they look similar.
Yeah,
and
they
then it's
do.
like, no, this thing's fucking
It's
size of a bus.
gigantic.
You fucking dummies. Like, of course it is. So China's got a rover on the dark side of the moon, even though it's light there, but it's just dark for us. They have taken a photo of an anomalous angular feature spotted in the distance. In the photo, it just looks like a fucking rectangular object rising above the horizon. Doesn't look like it belongs there. Very interesting.
Try to. Oh no, you can't.
I can try to share my screen. Hang
No,
on.
you need permissions, and I don't think you changed that.
Is that something I can do very quickly? Probably not.
Probably, but I can't.
We could pause
wouldn't
it.
really.
We could pause it.
Nah, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
All right, cool.
I'll try to set you up. Like, we'll look at your settings when I'm there in person, and then if we ever have to do this shit online again, maybe we'll just get snowsuits and I'll just set it up outside, and we'll just Sit on opposite ends of the driveway.
You know what, CJ, you should do is just because you're also on a computer, um, just Google China dark side of the moon, and there's an article called Lunacy or Legacy by the National Post, and it's got a photo of this thing. And anyone doing that, just look this thing up.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Um,
do it on my phone because I don't want to fuck the recording.
Fair enough. This is the first rover to go on the dark side of the moon.
So what am I searching again? Say that again.
Just type in China dark side of the moon rover.
Dark side of the moon photos.
So it looks like a hut. It's by U2 is the name of the rover. Took the photo. It's sitting off in the. It was 80 meters from the thing, and they set up a plan to get the rover closer to get a better look, but it'll take a couple of months to reach whatever the fuck this thing is.
Holy fuck!
Yeah, you see that? It looks like it doesn't belong there.
No,
for sure.
I was reacting to your time frame there.
Oh, okay. But anyway, they've taken this weird ass fucking photo, and there's a lot of fucking strange shit going on with the moon right now, and I think that's definitely one of them. I knew something was fucked up there, and I couldn't remember who it was. If it was India or China that had spotted or found something extremely fucking strange on the moon. This was a month ago.
Okay, this is like super zoomed in. Can you see my screen? Is it this one?
That's the one.
Fuck.
And that's a real photo. Like it's fucking bizarre, right?
Weird.
Definitely doesn't belong there. Or doesn't look like it belongs there, I should say.
There's these other photos as well, like overhead ones.
Is there overhead photos of it? Because I think this was just taken by the rover.
This could be completely fake. I have no fucking clue.
Assume they are at this point.
Yeah. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, fucking strange, right?
Yeah. Oh, dude, I love this shit.
So
I told you, we talked about the Fantastic Fungi, right?
I think briefly,
a little bit. So me and Audrey watched that, and we're just like laying in bed, and we're like, oh, let's like watch something else that's like fucking weird. So there's one about like aliens or whatever. I instantly fell asleep. Audrey goes, I had to turn it off. I couldn't do it. It was like too much.
Too dumb.
I'm like, some of them are outrageous.
Some of them are out there. Some of them are fucking out there.
One? And the guy was trying to sit, like he would play music out through like frequencies and shit. Fuck, what was that one called? It's like a documentary on a guy like trying to connect with aliens.
Okay, there's this fucking dude that Stephen Greer, I think. This guy claims that if you follow his program, you can get UFOs to show up where you're at. And he's got all these videos. And the videos are interesting to look at, but I don't know if any of this shit is fucking true or not. Because he's like, if you just meditate hard enough and you point some
hard enough.
you point some, they literally use fucking meditation
at a 30-degree
laser
angle.
pointers. Yeah, and laser pointers. And like if a bunch of you get in a circle and you really conjure this, you can conjure it into existence. And like there's videos, and it's like, I guess they're interesting videos, but they're like any typical fucking, like you guys have been standing there waiting to film a UFO and it still comes out grainy and fucking shitty quality. And you guys were ready for this UFO to show up.
That's one thing I can't get over. It's like all these fucking video things are with the worst video cameras.
Yeah.
Even the stuff that comes out like today, it's like, holy fuck. Like,
dude, the fucking
upgrade your equipment.
There's a phone where you can zoom in on the fucking moon and it doesn't get blurry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I'm pretty sure you'd be able to zoom up if you were pointing a laser pointer at a fucking alien spacecraft, as these guys claim to do. Pretty sure
also,
you would bring a camera with you, or at least pull out a smartphone and be like, cha-ching, good photo.
Yeah, check this out.
Or watch this fucking 4K video that my phone automatically fucking
watch this
in.
Alien come and obliterate me because I'm shining a fucking laser at it.
Yeah, this guy, I tried to watch a documentary on him. I think he's on Netflix. Stephen Greer, I think is his name. And it's like, it's out there. It's hard. If a lot of it feels like fucking nonsense. You know what I mean? Like some of the footage, again, is interesting. But then like there's a lot of stuff where it's like, the Galactic Federal International Federation. They've brought in the world leaders, and the world leaders know that they're now part of the fucking International Alien Federation and shit. And it's like, they're
Jesus.
is this true?
Yeah. Are
I don't know.
you for
I don't,
real?
I don't know if this is true. But the
Oh
reason
man.
that guy got into UFOs is interesting because he had a near death experience where he almost died. And he said he was transported into the middle of the universe and like was able to like be one with the universe and then like change his mind. And he really got into fucking life outside of planet Earth and stuff. But we've discussed this
So he's got
on the
severe brain damage.
this man was held underwater for 12 minutes. But we've discussed this on here. Like when you die, your brain, like they know that they think that DMT is like a soothing mechanism that your brain produces so that
Mhm.
you don't like go through the horrors of dying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, then there's like the interesting shit that's fun to talk about where um is DMT transporting your consciousness to a different dimension after you die? Is it doing all that shit? Or is it simply just a chemical that is able to take your brain out of whatever situation you're in
Out of
and
reality and
out
just
of
like
reality, and
fucking
then eventually, like when you die, then it stops.
yeah,
We don't know.
you're tripping balls or what seems
The
like you're
fun thing about
tripping
that answer
balls
is
and
that's one
then
of those things where you can literally say we don't know because they don't
yeah,
know
you'll
if it's one or the other.
never I don't
They
think
don't
you'll
know.
ever I
They
don't
just
think
know that
there'll
it
ever
produces
be
it.
a way to find that.
But the interesting thing about DMT is that when you do it, everyone says that you get blasted off into space, literally. Like you go into the middle
Yeah.
of the universe. So if this guy had a near death experience, it's entirely possible that his brain flooded with DMT because he thought he was going to die, ended up in the middle of the universe. Whereas this guy thinks it's because he was about to die that the aliens came and took him and were like, come with us to the alien world.
But hang on, how are
Meanwhile,
they coming down to get him if like
they took his consciousness. You know what I mean? Because
okay,
he was
okay.
currently dying, like whether it was a car accident or whether he was drowning or whatever.
Gotcha.
Had
Gotcha.
I think he was really sick as a child. I can't remember what the thing was, but either way, like that itself is interesting, right? That alone is
Yeah.
interesting.
I think
And
the
now this
only
guy shoots
way
laser pointers in the air and fucking conjures UFOs out of existence. That's fucking strange too, I guess.
yeah. I think the only way to like really recreate like I don't know what happens like during death is to get an actual reading of like the DMT levels that are running through somebody's fucking head upon death
Yeah.
and then trying to give somebody that amount of fucking DMT and then what did you see, man?
Yeah. Like
If they survive that, like
that's
or if their brain
and
just becomes mush after that.
yeah, and the problem with
It's
that
too much
experiment is
DMT.
that it's a little unethical. You're basically
Right?
trying to kill
I don't know.
somebody and make sure that they don't fucking live.
Well,
Or
you
make sure that
take
they come
people that are
back.
dying.
Yeah,
Like, come
that's
on.
true too, I guess.
In like palliative care or whatever, because all you're doing is just like monitoring like the brain,
Yes,
right?
you're right.
That's all. Like you're just trying to get a reading, and then from there you need people of good health to then be like, I'll fucking trip out on DMT. It could be a
See,
permanent side effect of I don't wake up or I'm a vegetable.
yeah, when my grandmother was in palliative care at the hospital when she passed away, I guess a year and a half ago now. The interesting thing was, I think we discussed it. There was a dude there who, because basically they just like they don't even keep you alive. They just kind of give you a bit of pain medicine and they just let you waste away. It's fucking brutal. But
Yeah, it's fuck. They just keep you comfortable.
there was a
Give
dude
you
there
because
who,
both my grandparents were like that.
yeah, they just try to keep you comfortable as much as they can. But
Yeah.
they're not giving you fucking DMT. And there was a dude there that was fucking on DMT. He was going, woo! Number 29. Number 29. This dude, I don't like maybe
Good for
like
him.
you just like when you're dying, your brain just fucking you literally relive your life. I don't fucking know. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
this guy, like every like few minutes, you just hear woo, and he was loud. I don't even know which room he was in, but he wasn't close. Like he was down the hall.
Yeah.
It was just like woo, number 29. Like, I don't know, like, I don't know if that guy's on
Love it.
DMT, if he's reliving his entire life. The freaky thing is that me and you could both be on our deathbeds right now, or one of us could be on our deathbeds right now, and this is just us reliving our life as we're dying,
Holy fuck.
right? There's something that'll fucking keep you up at night if you think about it too much.
Jesus, I never even thought of that.
No, you don't wanna think about it, but I'm glad I put that out there.
That's kind of fucking cool though.
It's interesting as fuck to think about.
Put
I
yourself on
didn't
rewind,
I'm not the one that,
flip the
that's not
tape around, restart.
well, because everyone says, your life flashes before your eyes before you die, right? Or
Yeah.
people have said that, like, I relived my whole life.
Yeah, in the
But
movies, they
then,
say
like,
it all
in,
the
like
time.
but even in real life, like, people have had near-death experiences. Some of them say that. Some of them say,
Yeah.
like, they go to the universe or they fucking their entire lives, like, get replayed before them. So, I mean, they're and how vivid and how long lasting is that? Like, if you're just laying in a bed the last hour of your life, does it feel like you've literally lived an entire lifetime up until that moment that you pass away? This is just
Oh,
philosophical, fucking
fuck.
interesting shit, but it's fun to think about and terrifying at the exact same time that that
That's
could
a
be
little
happening
both.
to one of us right now.
Yeah, we don't know.
We don't know. We don't know anything. that's
No, we
that's my
don't know
favorite part.
shit.
That's my favorite part about all of this is we don't know anything.
Oh
No
fuck.
scientists, nobody knows fucking anything.
No.
They just have like we have a pretty good idea, but we don't fucking know. Like they know the Big Bang happened, they have no idea how, why, what was there before, how. Like they know nothing.
Yep.
Like it's
We don't know
fucking
where these giant fucking monolithic sites came from.
exactly. I'm fucking
Well, they think, but it doesn't make sense with
yeah. So just
what.
just before we wrap up this, I just wanted to reread what this Stephen Greer guy does, and then that is what his name is. So Greer claims that a covert, transnational, mostly corporate group, there's no oversight from any governments, and which possesses anti-gravity technology and craft, has had a plan since the 1950s to hoax an alien attack. So I think he's got some of that right. I think he's got some of that wrong. So the fact
Do
that
you
well,
go on? Go on. Go on.
yeah, let me explain that because
Yeah.
that's so I think is back to Bob Lazar and all this shit. So that if the government like people are like, oh, the government has UFOs or whatever the fuck, right? The government doesn't have UFOs. The government has defense contractors and private companies that would probably hold on to the UFOs. You
Yeah.
know what
So
I
they
mean?
can say
Because
we
they're
don't have them.
absolved of any liability. Like EG&G is a defense contractor that has done work at Area 51 since it began. And this was out of a book that I read that was not a conspiracy book about UFOs. It was just literally about the history of Area 51. But you cannot talk about Area 51 without at least addressing UFOs to a certain extent.
Hmm.
Now, what she does a great job of talking about in that book is how basically private industry holds all of the national secrets to a certain extent. Because again, they're not obligated to freedom of information requests. They're not obligated. They're not public. They're not fucking anything like that. They're a private company and they can just store all this information off site at their private intercourse where enterprise where no government official has the right to come and take a look at it. Like Bill Clinton tried to get information from these guys in the 90s while he was president of the United States and he was denied. So that's the kind of power that these places have. So that
Fuck.
if they so where I believe he might be right is that there's a mostly corporate group that has no oversight from any government, which possesses anti gravity technology and craft. I think he's probably on the right track of that because that's basically what Bob Lazar was saying is that Bob Lazar was hired by a private company, but his work
Yeah.
was at a government facility, S4 at Area 51.
Yeah.
So I think he's got
I.
that part right. Where I
Yeah.
think he's stretching it is they've had a plan to in the 1950s to hoax an alien attack. There hasn't been any alien attacks come to
Oh, well, I
fruition.
thought that was coming in fucking 2020.
Yeah, well, here we are in fucking 2022. So there's that. you know? But
I to hoax.
yeah, I don't understand what he means by that. This is also just a Wikipedia
For the
blurb. I'm
government
sure
to
it's
fake an alien attack. That
for probably some fucking weird, strange reason that they would want to do that. But I
yeah, I
think
don't.
I think absolutely, if the government does have craft, right? And I'm saying the government again, just generally. But
Yeah,
let's pretend that Bob Lazar is right and he says that they have access to craft. They don't actually own the craft. They've given all that craft and
to
technology
a private
to a private
company.
company because they're the only ones
Um.
that can actively hide it.
So I wonder.
Now that private company
I
is
wonder if they've
basically
done
an
this.
extension of the government. Don't get me wrong. You know
Yeah.
what I
No.
mean?
I wonder if technically, like, the government still owns it, but it's under the. I don't know how.
It's
I
under
don't know
all
how
the
to word this.
protections that
Yeah.
a private company would have.
Yeah.
Now, basically, the
And
government
then
does
it.
own these because the only work that they do are government contracts for the government. So
Yeah.
their whole business is
It's like
working
the
for the
government
government.
started these other
It's like a
companies.
shell company that they've created,
Yeah.
to a certain
Yeah.
extent, right?
Smart as fuck, because it does allow them to be like, look,
Absolutely.
we don't own them.
Yeah.
We got nothing.
If the president of the
Technically,
United
they
States
don't.
doesn't have a valid reason to access their private information, that'll hold up.
Yeah.
Like that's a good fucking place to put this shit. You
Yep.
know, and that's why I
Yeah.
always kind of
And
get
if
skeptical. Like, oh, the government can never keep anything secret. Well, the government doesn't have to keep anything secret. If you
yeah.
compartmentalize it down to where only a few individuals know where the information even is, and then that information is held within a private industry, it doesn't matter how many people in the fuck government do or don't know. You
Yeah,
know?
and I think this all ties back into what we've talked about and what you have said before is like what will actually happen? Let's say aliens are 100% a fucking thing. What is going to happen in society when all that information gets revealed? There's no more unknown, there's no more wondering, like it is here's all the information now we know.
To,
How much chaos is going to come out of that?
to me, there's more questions.
There's more questions. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. But like, how many people are going to fucking lose their shit? Look at how many people lost their shit down in the States and fucking went out fucking doomsdays around the fucking corner for COVID. Never mind
Yeah.
fucking aliens.
Well, I mean, back to
That's a
fucking
fucking
tinfoil hat
different
thing.
story.
People have lost their shit over COVID on fucking all angles. People are far more afraid than they should be. Like people
Yeah,
go off the
but like
fucking deep end over everything. Yeah,
I'm
I'm
going
agreeing
like
with you.
I'm going off the aspect of like buying guns and like all this shit, like creating bunkers and fucking all this crazy shit just over COVID.
Yeah,
Never mind having a like alien, somebody from a fucking different planet, universe, whatever it is, that is looking to either come to us
Yeah.
or has been here. What are their intentions? Like
and
those,
they've traveled from an ungodly amount of distance away like that,
yeah,
and can
so
do it,
many
which we can't.
people
Yeah,
are gonna go out, fucking get a whole fucking arsenal, and there's gonna be a shit ton of people that do the same thing that don't know how to fucking use all this shit.
yeah.
And that'll be fucking absolute chaos.
See, to me, I wonder. Like, I think when that day does happen, if it does, like, I think,
Well, I don't see it happening in our time. I don't think we're advanced enough for them to fucking worry about us.
yeah, that's probably the better point. Is why the fuck would they even bother mentioning to us that they're here?
Like you've said multiple times, we're fucking over here fighting each other. And
Yeah,
they're like, look at these fucking idiots.
let's
They
just
can't
hang
even
out and watch
fucking
'em.
work together.
No. My favorite Rick and Morty does a good bit on it, and there's like I think it's the end of the fourth season, and it's like snake aliens, right? So it's just like snakes, and Rick and Morty are going to like the snake planet, which is basically Earth, but it's just snakes, and they just go like at each other. It's really funny, but basically, like the guy he cracks a joke, and he's like, yeah, they're fucking fighting wars with each other. And he's like, and they're the same species and they're fucking killing each other and doing this. Like, what a bunch of fucking stupid snakes. You know what I mean? Like, it's
Yeah,
like, bro, like,
man.
it's fucking us, man.
That's
Like, we're so
us.
fucking stupid. We're literally all the same. And all people want to do is fucking divide and fucking
No,
conquer your ass. You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
like,
man.
fucking
There's bigger fish to fry.
chill.
There's bigger fucking
Way
people.
bigger
Fucking
fish to
there's
fry.
so many different things that we should probably be worried about that we're not.
Yeah, like anytime someone goes down the road of division, you should be fucking weary of that fucking person. You know what I mean? Because we've
Yeah.
seen how this shit plays out. It's about anything. Like people bring up race a lot. The biggest fucking thing that they've pulled over our eyes is they want us to think that we're divided by race when really we're fucking divided by class. Because class, where you stand in the world, determines a lot more of your outcome than any fucking thing like that does. Right?
Yep.
So, and that's the biggest fucking thing. Like, no, 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 focus on trivial shit like the color of your skin, which none of that fucking matters at the end of the day. You
No.
know, like we're all the same fucking person. We're all the same fucking species. Like, fucking
Yeah.
everybody fucking chill out.
Yeah.
It's just another reason to fucking divide you, you know?
That's so stupid.
Like-
and that we've like the world in general hasn't been more divided than it ever has now.
I know. And
It's crazy.
I wanted to bring this up because it's infuriating to me. And it's the prime minister said, I don't know if you saw this. He just said something
Probably
on on a Montreal show. And this is back to if people like this is not a political statement here, people. This is if people want to divide you, you got to fucking wonder why. And also you should call them out for what they are as fucking bad people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because nothing nothing is worth getting fucking divided over. And if people are doing it, there's a fucking reason for it. So Trudeau was just on the show in Montreal and he spoke in French and people can go and find the video. It's translated, but I'm just going to read the thing out of an article. So Trudeau was saying, we're going to, and this is about COVID, but it's not about COVID is my point here. So we're going to end this pandemic by proceeding with vaccination. We all know people who are deciding whether or not they are willing to get vaccinated, and we will do our best to try to convince them. However, there is still a part of the population that is fiercely against it, to which the commentator blurts out and goes, they're extremists. And then the prime minister says, they don't believe in science or progress and are very often misogynistic and racist. It's a very small group of people, but that doesn't shy away from the fact that they take up some space. This leads us as a leader and as a country to make a choice. Do we tolerate these people? Over 80% of the population of Quebec has done their duty by getting the shot. They are obviously not the issue in this situation. The fact that a fucking leader of this country is saying, do we tolerate
that's a little extreme, if you ask
a
me.
little extreme? Like, dude, that if that was a fucking quote that I said was by a fucking Hitler or Stalin, you would think it was fucked up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it is fucked up.
Yeah.
How long are we going to make it as this leads us as a leader and as a country to make a choice? Do we tolerate these people? Are you
So what are you trying to
kidding
say?
me? Exactly. What are you trying to say?
Yeah.
What are we talking about here? Because
Yeah. We gonna
the
get rid of him?
the nice
We sending Vinny with his violin case over there or something?
Well, what the fuck are
Like,
we doing?
what are we
here? Because
doing?
the virtue of having fucking history books is and fucking shit like that is we can go back and look at what this language fucking does. And it does nothing good comes of it.
No.
You know what I mean? And the fact that and this is not a vaccinated versus unvaccinated thing. This is just a repulsive thing that a fucking politician has said, which in the history of people saying shit like
you got to look at it.
things go well.
You have to look at it from a different side. Like, okay, he's talking about like vaxxed, unvaxxed.
Right.
But let's say the world was in a different situation. And like with Corona not a thing and fucking COVID. And he says this about something else. You know what I mean?
Group of people. Do we find it repulsive and scary?
Like, fuck, man.
We should, bro.
That's
like
fucked up.
It's super fucked up because this is the type of shit, and I'm not being hyperbolic here. This is literally the stuff in the fucking 1930s that fucking led a civilization, a sophisticated civilization, to do some pretty horrible shit. It was rhetoric and stuff like this coming from leaders of countries. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I've seen. He said this 2-3 days ago. I have seen nothing about this in the mainstream news whatsoever.
No, they're not going to show that, though.
But that is the concerning part, is the fact that, but this was on the mainstream news. This was some popular TV show.
It was, but it's not getting like shared.
This is getting shared by international news outlets, but not by Canadian outlets.
Look at this fucking idiot.
Look at this fucking psychopath saying shit like that. And again, like back to what you were saying, change the word unvaccinated to any group
anything
of
else.
people, any religion of people, any race of people, and we would
Literally
go,
just anything
"What?
else.
What did you just
Yeah.
say? How long
Yeah.
do we have to make a decision? How long do we tolerate them?
Yeah.
What do you mean
So
that they're
what are we
taking up
saying?
space? What are we
Yeah.
saying here?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
that's
Like take out
ex-
the whole like side of like vaxxed, unvaxxed,
because it's not about that.
and literally
Yeah,
replace it with anything else.
anything else, and you would be repulsed to hear such a statement from a
Yeah.
supposed free country and a fucking world leader.
80% of us are meat eaters. Are
Yeah.
we really gonna put up with the 20%
How
that
much?
aren't?
How much longer are we going to fucking put up with these vegetarians taking up space?
Like,
We have to make
fuck.
a decision as a country and
Yeah.
as a leader. What are we? How much longer are we going to tolerate these people?
That's so
It's
fucked.
super fucked up, bro. It's
That's
super
fucked.
fucked up. And again,
Jesus.
anyone listening or anyone who thinks that this is about vax or unvax, you're missing the fucking point. Because if you don't hear someone say something like that and think, "What the fuck?" Like, for
Yeah.
example, if this wasn't the Prime Minister of Canada saying this, and this was the fucking president of Russia saying this, we would be, "What the
Up
fuck
in
is this guy
arms.
doing?" Up in arms,
Yeah.
and rightfully so. And there's no
Oh,
difference
100%. Yeah.
between the Prime Minister of Russia or the Prime Minister of Canada. Whoever the fuck says shit like this should be
Yep.
fucking condemned for saying shit like this. You
Yep.
know, it's fucking repulsive, and it grosses me the
Yep.
fuck out.
I laugh so hard. I saw a post the other day from somebody I follow, and it was like knocking Trudeau or whatever, and it's like, cool. Like, but we just had an election, what, a year ago?
Yeah, not even the fall.
Like,
Yeah.
you can't just start bitching about him again now. Like, literally everybody fucking, well, not everybody, but a lot of fucking people fucking voted.
Yeah.
So either you didn't vote, or the rest of the country sees it some other way.
Yeah,
And
I agree to a
like,
I agree. I think you should hold whoever is in power accountable at all times. So
100%.
the whole idea is to, if you want to bitch about a fucking politician every day after they're elected, I think it's important to do that. And I think that any citizen, whether they
I
voted
just
for the
find it
government in
funny
power,
because it's like so many people are up in arms, and it's like,
what do you mean up in arm? Like
What?
I'm confused in the context of what
there
you're
was
referring to.
there was like
Because technically, I'm doing
again,
that
it was
right
like,
now. You know,
no, I know, but it, I don't even know how to fucking explain it.
take your time. It's not a big deal. I'm just curious because I
No,
don't think I
no,
understand
'cause
the
I
context
totally-
of what you're trying to say.
I totally, it wasn't in the context of like him saying shit. It was like what he was gonna do as prime minister,
Oh, like
it was
people like
like
he didn't follow through with his policies.
or he's like what his policies are.
Right.
It's like, what, like, we could have voted for somebody else.
Well, that's the thing. The funniest thing to me is like a lot of people vote. Like a lot of people think that there's like a moral, like how you vote says something about the way you are as a person. It goes back to like the polarization that's led down. Like this is a very recent
Yeah.
thing. Like people think that it's been like this forever.
Yeah.
Like the idea that like someone votes liberal, they're a bad person. Someone votes conservative,
Nah,
they're a bad
I
person.
fucking hate that shit.
Well, but the thing is that a lot of people now think, and a lot of people pride themselves on how they vote. I would never vote conservative because conservatives are
Mm.
fucking evil people. When there's
Yeah.
a million reasons,
I know
why
a
someone
few of
would vote for
those.
them. Yeah, I know a few of those as myself, and but then those people will turn around and go, "Wow, we have a housing shortage and a housing crisis." Well, did you vote for a party that actually had a plan to fix said thing?
To fix it, yeah.
Or did you just vote along whatever weird partisan lines you think? Because
Yeah.
again, back to this is just a fucking another way to divide people. If you think that people, the way that they vote has anything to do with their fucking moral character, then I think you're missing the point a little bit, you know, because
No,
people
yeah.
vote for parties for a vast number of different things.
Yep.
And to think that any of one of those people are a bad person based on whether they voted liberal, NDP, fucking conservative, Green Party, People's Party, doesn't fucking matter. You know, that's just another fucking weird, strange thing. But
Yep.
where people should be fucking bitched at is if they vote for a liberal party who has no plan to fix housing crisis and then bitch about how there's no fucking housing. That's when people should be like, well, you should have voted for someone different, you know? Like Those are my favorite ones. Those are the ones that get me every fucking time. Like okay, something's not adding up here. What's the most important issue to you? Oh, I would like to be able to afford a house. Okay, who'd you vote for? The Liberal Party. Why?
Yeah, you're an idiot.
Literally every other party had a better plan
fuck.
than them. Literally everyone.
It was
NDP, Green Party, literally everyone. Right?
Yeah,
This is not a right
like,
versus left issue
liberals
here.
were gonna make it worse.
They were gonna make it worse.
Like,
they were gonna make it
the
like flipping houses illegal or some shit. Like
Yeah, it
as
was-
if that's
yeah.
gonna solve the problem. Like, what are we doing? You know? Like that's the shit. Like people should be
Oh,
fucking
my
ridiculed for
God.
that. They shouldn't be thought of as a bad person, but they should definitely be like called into question. Like, hey,
Shame.
what were you thinking?
Shame. Shame.
But anyway, this
Oh,
fucking
fuck.
prime minister is a fucking scumbag for the shit that he says. And
Yeah,
I'm not
that's
a fucking
fucked up.
like
I didn't
this
know
is
that.
I'm gonna pay more attention to this stuff because there's been a lot of fucking noise out there about this stuff.
Yeah.
But to hear this shit, just I don't care where anybody stands on the fucking vaxxed unvaxxed issue. Just to hear that said should frighten every single person.
Literally
Every
like I
person.
said,
Yeah.
just replace those two words with literally anything else.
Well, I'm
And
pretty
then
sure.
tell me that doesn't sound fucked up.
Well, to me, if you said
It's like 80% of the people in the world don't smoke and 20% do. We gonna put up with them?
I'm going to say something here. Jews don't believe in science or progress. They're often misogynistic and racist. It's a very small group, but they don't shy away from the fact and take up some space. That leads us as a leader of the country to make a choice. Do we tolerate Jews in this country? You know, that shit was said in the 1930s.
So yeah.
And I'm
That
just
is so
and that
fucked.
is not me quoting Hitler. That's me just quoting what the prime minister said and changing one fucking
One
word.
word.
One word. It sounds pretty fucked up when I say it like that, doesn't it?
Yep.
What are we doing here, people?
Fucking unbelievable.
We got to fucking get our humanity back here because otherwise
it's
shit gets
fucked.
fucking really spooky, you know? And that shit is fucking creepy as fuck. But anyway, I'm going to look more into this fucking moon stuff for next week because I wasn't anticipating talking about the moon. I was actually wanting to talk about last week I wanted to talk about NASA hiring a bunch of fucking theologists to like break the news to So this article circulated last week, and I'm glad we didn't talk about it last week.
Let's hit it next week.
No, I'm not going to hit it at all.
What?
I'm just going to, yeah, okay. NASA last week, I was going to say, hired a bunch of theologists, like 54 theologists, for the sole purpose of how would we explain to the human population that we discovered life outside of Earth, intelligent life. You know what I mean? So like people start.
So
thinking
they've
like,
hired people to be like Fuck.
They've
that's a
hired
tough word
they've
to
hired
get out.
they've hired priests, they've hired rabbis, they've hired
Holy
imams, they've
fuck.
hired philosophers, they've hired scientists, they've hired professors, they've hired a whole bunch of theologists
Different people
to
and
like to say like,
different
okay, like
fields.
listen, aliens are real. How would we break that to the populations of the world? Right?
Yeah.
This was a story that came out last week. I
Yeah.
just fucking I wanted to talk about last week and I wanted to get to it
literally,
this week.
but like this is what we're talking about though. It's like
Exactly. Turns out it's not true though. It's the unfortunate part. Well, yeah, tinfoil hat time, right?
it's definitely true.
Well, so this is the part that I just read because I wanted to pull up the article because it was a New York Post article, right?
Okay.
Now, I believe the article was somewhat misleading based on the headline and the fact that they were letting people believe that this is sort of a recent thing and like, so people are like, holy fuck, 2022, shit's gonna hit the fan with
they've
aliens.
probably been doing this for years.
Well, that's the thing is like I just read this article right before we started that was trying to like say like, oh, this like huge news story that's been making news isn't really true. And then I read through it and they're like, no, they hired these theologists back in 2016 and 17. They didn't hire these theologists recently. Okay, but isn't it still the same point? Aren't they
I
still
would imagine they've done this multiple times.
like, probably do it every fucking year.
Yeah, because you want a large I guess opinion base and be like, okay, let's find common themes between what each person's saying and let's find what kind of makes sense to us as like NASA and like all this shit, right? And then if you do it every year, at least then when something happens, you're prepared on how to actually release whatever evidence fucking is found.
Exactly. That makes
No,
sense.
yeah, smart for them.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah,
like,
you're gonna tell me they're not gonna find shit? Yeah, they're finding shit.
isn't it their fucking duty to
2022 is gonna be lit for space.
Space is gonna be lit. That's fucking perfect. That's perfect. I'm in 100%.
Just like I'm gonna be fucked up next week.
Yeah. Let's leave it at that. 2022 is gonna be lit for space. Let's do a quick Chris predict.
All right. Chris predicts. Dun, 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 dun.
Wizardry. All right, what did I do last week? Let's find out.
I'm fucking.
Oh, yes, here we are.
Remember?
I said that Manchester City would beat Arsenal, and they did. I said, hang on, I better pull up this fucking score because I only wrote down the winners because I'm a fucking idiot. I think I went 1 for 4 last week. I got robbed on a couple late fucking decisions. Where are we here? Yes. The internet. Helpful as ever. Okay, yeah. I said that Leicester was going to win. Their game got canceled. I'm like, why can't I remember what the fuck happened there? So their game was postponed due to COVID. It's been a huge problem. I think I mentioned that last week that I'm just going to predict some games. Not going to predict all of them because some of them are going to get canceled for sure. So I think it was the Leicester and Everton game last week that got postponed. So anyways, I said that Man City would beat Arsenal. I said that Watford and Tottenham would draw, and I said that Crystal Palace would beat West Ham. So game number 1, Manchester City did beat Arsenal. They scored a last-minute winner.
Wow.
It was a pretty crazy game. I didn't want them to win at all, but it was a wild game. Tottenham and Watford, that draw, which was like a 5-1 fucking prediction for me. Tottenham scored a winner in the 96th minute to fucking win that game. Like literally the last kick of the ball. Now, those who are keeping score at home, hey, aren't there only 90 minutes in soccer? You're goddamn right. They fucking scored in the 96th minute. So that was a fucking kick in the teeth.
Even I know there's fucking stoppages and they just keep running the clock.
Yeah. And then fucking West Ham beat Crystal Palace. So I went 1 for 3 last week. I was really hoping for 2 and 1, but here we are at this moment.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Now, these games are to be played next week. Only 3 of them. Southampton versus Brentford, Everton, and Leicester, which is the game that I want to predict this week, but it was postponed. And West Ham is playing Norwich. Now, all 3 of these games could easily be canceled again due to COVID, but I'm going to predict them anyway. So, Brentford and Southampton are going to tie because it's going to be a fucking cagey affair, but I think they're both going to tie. So there's a draw. Leicester's going to beat Everton again. I'm going to predict that one twice in a row. Hopefully it happens. And West Ham will beat Norwich. So there you go. 2 draws, a draw and 2 wins is the prediction.
There we
and
go.
I'm pretty sure that'd be a decent parlay.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah, bro. Fuck yeah.
All right, that's it.
And then after that, then it's UFC predictions, I think, next week.
1 more week after.
1 more week. Yeah, I'm looking at the calendar
UFC
now.
270 is Jan 22nd. I thought it was the 11th, and then I just looked at my calendar.
Yeah, the 11th is like Tuesday.
a fucking yeah.
I thought it was
Like,
that week though. I thought it was the 15th. I thought it was the second week.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right.
I actually thought it was this weekend.
Fuck, that would have been nice. But yeah,
Yeah,
January 22nd. Big old Francis.
So we got a couple weeks for that.
Weeks to
that
go.
is gonna be nuts.
Actually,
we could start looking at like
next
regular like fight nights.
We could also next week. I will NFL playoffs will be starting. Come next week's show, so I'll be able to predict. I'll do some predictions through that.
Yep.
There'll be some other stuff to catch up. So there'll be lots of interesting things.
Yeah.
Also,
it's a downtime right now because of the holidays and shit. Like everything's just starting to
We're just
take off again.
Also, next week, are we gonna review some non-alcoholics?
Yes.
All right, cool.
Yeah,
so
we'll
look
talk
out
about
for that. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna do some reviews. So non-alcoholic, like we did last year.
Yeah, I think we should.
I enjoyed it.
My thoughts is I think we should stick down to the beer. We've been doing a lot of beer lately.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how these fucking things hold up. You know, they're getting. I would
even
good,
like to continue to do the beers in February. I've been enjoying them.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
It's been a nice change.
Hmm.
If I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. All right. So there you go.
All right. Gotta say shout out to Betty White. Rest in peace. She passed away the other
Taken
day.
too soon at the age of 99.
I think she passed away New Year's Eve, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, dude, man. Fucking, I heard a lot of people in my house on New Year's Eve being like, "Oh my god, Betty White." I'm like, "She was 99."
She
Okay?
wasn't young.
She was 99. You
Yeah.
don't cry for someone who lives to be 99.
I heard I saw a bunch of memes and it was like fuck New Year's, fuck 2022. We're drinking for Betty White tonight. I was like,
You're like, "I
fuck
wanted
yeah.
to see her get to 100." It's like, "Why?" She's fucking the
I-
fact that she
yeah.
got to 99.
Dude, I don't even want to live that long.
No,
That seems way too long.
because it is. You're not supposed to live that long.
Like fuck. Good for her. But
Yeah.
fuck.
But yeah, I'm with you.
that.
Big ups to Betty White, but like, don't
Yeah.
be sad, people.
Yeah.
It's
fucking
just like whatever, you know.
go back, watch some of her shows. I don't know what the last one.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last one she was in, but it was good. I
She was
watched.
pretty sexy. I'm sure she appreciates someone rubbing one out to her. Go for it.
Ah,
Have
fuck.
at it.
Yeah, do it.
Do it. Don't do it for Betty White.
Yeah, fuck. And yeah, like always, thanks for watching, listening, and we'll see you guys next week. Reviews will be in full swing again for some
Yep.
non-alcoholic, and hope you guys are doing dry January with us.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting. Now it's
If you
only
are-
dry. You can do fucking. You can go nuts with drugs. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
this ain't sober. This ain't sober
Yeah,
January.
no,
This is
just
fucking
dry, no
just stay
alcohol.
off the booze. And if you
Yeah.
are doing it, fucking keep powering through. Stick with it.
Yeah, I find it kind of easy right now, but again, those 2 bottles sitting beside me are looking a little tempting.
Yeah, you know what? I've already this gonna sound so fucking degenerate style. Just only being a few days in, I find it easier than I did last year.
Okay.
To a certain I don't know. Like based on where I am at this
wonder
point.
because there was no like New Year's celebrations last year. And even
Well,
though this year was like very minimal,
Mhm.
I'm wondering if it's because there was like a bit of a shebang.
Got it out of my system. I don't know.
A little
I al-
bit. Like,
but
you know,
also-
like you're good for the moment. Like it's only been like fucking 3 days.
Yeah, I know. But last year was the first like year that I actually did a full dry January, so I know what to
Yeah.
expect. I
Yeah.
know how to get through it. Read some shit, feeling better about it. It is what it is. Fucking,
It is
it's
what it
easy to have
is.
fun without booze. It really is.
Yeah,
So,
100%.
but yeah,
Alright.
keep it going, people.
Yeah, keep it going. Keep it going strong. And yeah, we'll see you guys next
See
week.
ya.
We're out.
Bye.
Deuces.